Hello and welcome to Buck's Midweek Show. Yay! Here on the TeknoAXE Network. I'm Buck, that is Dennis, and I am here to talk about the subject of the week, because that's, well, it's self-evident. The subject this week is geography. And as my favorite subject, I'm going to give it the special care and attention of turning the phone sideways. Geography for me has always been something I understood. From a young age, I was, reading atlases, reading about countries and people that live there, and, various landforms, things like that. I never quite understood why most people had such a hard time with it. Maybe it was just that interest that made it easier for me. So I got to the point where I made it to my state geography B as a youngster, and as such, sparked a bit of a lifetime enamoration with the subject. Certainly, as the internet has grown, such things have become easier. I have been able to, create accounts to make geography quizzes. Google Maps is awesome. It's a great way to, see the world, especially in Street View. And so from there, it just leads to a few contentions I have about our relationship with geography today. One is the concept that Americans don't know geography. As I said, I don't understand it, but I think seeing how we are much below other nations in this does connotate somewhat of a cultural bias against this sort of knowledge. And part of that, I feel, is American exceptionalism, where learning about other cultures is devalued by the, greatness that people experience from the U.S. from the cultural standpoint, where people are told how great we are and say, "Oh well, then that's all there's in the world is America," shit like that. Fuck. And from there, it goes to the point where, you ask people, very, very basic things, even about the U.S., and they still don't know. And I think that is a bit of a vestigial element of that disinterest in the world geography. So, you ask people, something incredibly basic and simple, like a state capital. Like, I don't expect people necessarily to know all of them, especially, if you're not from the U.S., but I feel like knowing the big ones should be something, fairly obvious. But yet, the amount of people who still don't know things like that just boggles me. And certainly some of that comes from the general lack of education in some parts of our country. But a lot of that has to do with just the cultural biases. Additionally, I should say that geography is something to not be scared of. Unlike me, this is probably very scary. Just big old head, too close, etc. It is something where you can connect with people, broaden your horizons, and so on and so forth. Make it so that your experience can be greater in your everyday life, even. Because the people in America are from all corners of the earth. And understanding what these different peoples bring to the U.S. and to whatever countries they may immigrate to is key to appreciating cultural diversity and to appreciating people in general. And it's stuff like this that's really gotten me into stuff like all sorts of ethnic cuisines and all sorts of collectible items that from around the world that are really awesome. It's gotten me, well, the love of geography itself has gotten me a bunch of globes. So that's more of a personal thing. And I feel like ultimately it's something for you to check out at your local library, as they used to say in the Saturday morning cartoons. So if you're a Neckbeard Nation enjoyer and you find these Bucks midweek shows to be not as terrible as one may expect for some fat guy holding up an iPhone while laying down and not having done any prep for the show and not really holding the iPhone correctly and having a messy apartment that's showing on the camera and all sorts of other reasons why, well, I'm sure you are aware of them having that opinion yourself. So, if you like this stuff, you could always tweet at us at Neckbeard Bros. You can get us on the Facebook at the Neckbeard Nation. Email us at the TheNeckbeardNation at Gmail. And, hopefully soon we will be on things like the iTunes and all sorts of other fun stuff like that. So, for Buck's midweek show, this is, of course, Buck saying, "What?"